Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Keep It Moving Podcast. I am your host, Novelty, and and as usual, I have with me today Mike B.
What it do? What's going on with your mouth? That was weird. Clearly,
a little Daffy Duck going on today, I guess.
Right on. Bleep, 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 bleep. That's who was that? Porky Pig. That's who you sounded like. Yes,
Porky Pig going on today. So,
what's up with you?
Not much.
I know you was about to ask me. That's why I asked you first. I saw it in your face.
You tried to beat me to the punch.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see. My house looks like World War II zone has gone on in front of it for the last 2 weeks.
Uh-huh.
They're cutting down trees and they're all over my yard. Well, portions of trees are all over my yard. I guess not trees, but
that's a good thing, right?
I guess, yeah. Before the storms hit and one of them trees hit my house, so yeah, it is. That's a good thing.
Right on.
I had a dream. I had the funniest dream that my sister was sunbathing on a rooftop patio like thing, and a bird landed on her chest.
Uh-huh.
And
my
she
goodness,
freaked out.
I think most people would.
And so she jumps up out of the chair and she's and you know, if you watch cartoons back in the day, how the cartoons when they get scared they flail their arms and their legs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she did this all the way across the rooftop, and there was a couch at the edge where my stepmom was sitting. And my sister's doing this all the way across to the couch. She trips over the couch. My stepmom, my sister, and the couch rather, go over the edge of the rooftop and start to fall. And then a pool pops up under there. And so now those same cartoon characters, they flailing their arms in the air as they falling.
Yeah,
That's what my sister is doing. And she's screaming, the whole way down. They hit the pool. The couch comes in first, then my stepmom, then my sister, and somehow the couch flips up right. My stepmom and my sister are sitting on it, and they slide up under a table, and they come up sitting straight up right in front of the table on the couch.
That don't make no sense.
I literally, right after they came up out the water, my alarm clock went off. I woke up and busted out laughing. I was like, what is going on?
What were you doing as they were falling, though?
Watching. Well, it wasn't that I was watching.
I didn't even
there.
Screaming, saying
I wasn't there.
So you were watching them as if you were watching TV.
They had posted it to Facebook.
Lord. So you think,
right? I'm like, what is going on? Understand? This is why I woke up, and the dream actually started off with me and my criminal minds. Well, I was in some psycho's house, and he was crazy, and he was abusive to his son and his wife and anybody else, and his son and his wife knew how to keep him under control. And so for some reason I was stuck staying with them, and I couldn't leave the house. And I mean, so this dream was really about to get real scary.
Uh-huh.
And somehow
how did it flip?
I popped up I opened my phone because the wife and the son would let me do things. So I opened my phone and looked at Facebook, and I see my sister. Dreams are very interesting.
Sometimes they can be. And I've had dreams where they seem so real, but then I also have dreams where I realize in the dream that this has to be a dream. I don't know how, but I'm like, this has to be a dream. But I keep doing things that usually end up with me being hurt. I'm getting beat, or it's an alien after me or something like that. And it's like, this just doesn't feel real, but I can't stop.
I remember once I was dreaming, and I was like, okay, I gotta be dreaming. Let me pinch myself. And I pinched myself and didn't feel anything. And I was like, yeah, this is a dream. It's like, I would never even roll out.
I don't have that type of mindset to pinch myself. I can't alter.
Evidently I can.
You're good. You're smart. Right.
I went from crazy psycho to my sister falling off a roof.
And you laughing about it.
I mean, it was hilarious. And I can remember, vividly remember the entire dream. It's just like, I really wish I had it on tape.
Lord. So you wish you had the Facebook video to share to your real life.
I would love to let my sister see that Facebook video.
Lord have mercy. You know how I like to shop at Amazon.
On Amazon, yes.
Yes. It's the same thing.
No.
Because I don't actually go there. But there is an Amazon here. And, they have, like, because they have a center here, like, if you buy stuff, like, over $35, then they will do same-day delivery. But I don't do that. I get what I need. And
I didn't know that was the specs, but okay, that's good to know. Because I've always wondered, how do I get same day delivery? I buy something for $5.
It's also certain things. I'm sure if they don't have it here at this center here, then they probably can't do it. But it always says, orders over $35 qualify for same day shipping. And I'm always on there buying stuff I don't need, but I believe I need them.
You believe you?
I believe, and so I ended up buying somebody. One of my coworkers told me about probiotics.
So you brought
I brought some probiotics.
Have you used them yet?
I have.
You should have talked to me first, but go right ahead. How you feeling?
I'm cool. I mean, I haven't taken them in like 4 days, but
okay. How did you feel when you were on them?
The same.
Didn't cause any issues?
No.
Oh my goodness, you're so lucky.
What happened to you?
Oh, they gave me like painful gas.
And gas.
Yeah, because they mess with your gastro.
Yeah, I thought they like do something with your stomach, like get enzymes and everything to help, like gut health.
Right, it's gut health, so it's messing with that entire system, and it would cause painful gas. It would cause it in pockets to where, when gas gets stuck in certain areas, it don't come out, but that means gas don't go nowhere. So I would have like cramps, massive cramps in my stomach, and I would have to lay down, and finally somebody told me stop taking the pills.
Did we ever talk about how I used to be of the mindset that women don't have gas?
Yeah, well, you can have that mindset if you want to.
I refuse to, like, if I heard somebody pass gas, I would never look and think that it was a woman that did it. I don't know. I was so special.
Yes,
I was special.
But anyway, what about your probiotics?
I ordered them from Amazon, and they came like 2 days later. I hear a knock on the door. That's normal. Well, usually I'm not here when they come. I arrive home, I see my package in front of the door, and they used to actually send you pictures, like your order's been delivered, and it'll be a picture of the. No, it's been so long since I've seen something like that. It'll be a picture of my front door, and I will see my rug. And so I know that that's my house. Okay. I remember one time they sent me a picture. I'm like, I don't know where that is. And so I'm at work. It's like noon. I don't get off until like 4 o'clock. I'm like angry because like y'all just delivered my stuff. Ain't gonna send me a picture of it. Like this,
now, this don't make no sense. I ain't gonna have my stuff when I get home.
So now I feel some type of way because it's like they came to the apartment complex and just set it by the building. It was not my house. It was not my apartment.
So now you gotta go knock on everybody's door.
And I said I was praying all the while I'm at work. I'm like, hopefully somebody that lives there will see the package, see the address, and be smart about it and put it in front of my door. By the time I made it home, the package was in front of my door.
Okay.
But this particular situation, like I said, I hear a knock on the door. I go and open the door, and because I was expecting a package, I'm like, okay, this is Amazon. He has the package in his hand. He's fumbling with his phone. I'm like, hey, but he's not saying anything. He continues to fumble with his phone. He's like, eventually, like maybe like 30 seconds, later, he's like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, hey, like you got my package. Here I am.
Can I have it?
And then he ignores me. Sets my package on the ground next to my door. He's like, I gotta take a picure. And I'm looking at him like,
put it in my hand and I'll take a picture of me with it.
That's what I was thinking. I'm looking like, okay. I'm like, I don't know what you're trying to prove.
Must have been his first day.
And so he sat it next to my foot. He took his picture. I'm like, the picture would have made more sense considering if anybody questions this delivery, it would be me. And so the one way I wouldn't question this delivery is if the package is in my hand. So we don't have any problems. But he put it on the floor by my foot, snapped a picture, and then picked it up and handed it to me. And I was like, okay. It was the weirdest thing. It made absolutely no sense. But I guess maybe that's a requirement. Maybe because he didn't ask me for permission to use me in the photo. But to prove that you delivered it to a person, you would likely have a
my God,
person
that's funny.
in the picture. I was so confused.
At least they knock on your door. I just heard something in my door.
But he knocked on the door and didn't expect anybody to answer, it sounds like. Because, like I said, he's fumbling with his phone.
true.
He didn't even acknowledge me initially. And he's trying to get ready for this.
Well,
for his
my
photo.
issue is they never knock on my door. I just so happen to hear, like the lady that came by today to drop my package off. I'm sitting on the couch and I was eating something and I'm watching TV. I'm not thinking about her, and my video TV for my cameras is up in a corner. So if I'm not looking, if I don't hear something, I don't care about people just walking down the street. So I don't see it. And I just happened to hear. I'm like, what is that? And I looked up and saw somebody standing right outside my porch door. And I'm like, who is that? I go to the door. She's taking a picture and she's walking away. And I'm like, thank you. I'm like, you could have rang the doorbell, said hello, something. Yeah. But then I remember that I have that sign on my door that says, don't ring my doorbell. So I'm like, maybe I need to change that except for deliveries.
I think that's just what they do, because I've also experienced that where nobody knocked on the door. I get an alert. Like when I do get an alert, it says your package has been delivered. Like, no, it hasn't. I mean, I'm here. I'm sitting in the front room playing the video game. So I would know if my package has been delivered. Open to the front door. There it is. Ain't nobody said nothing. Ain't nobody knocked. Ain't nobody.
Well, now that's Amazon. But if you're dealing with the U.S. Post Office, I love my country. I do. And I really want this to stay a government job. I don't want them to privatize this and all that. But oh my goodness, they have where you can sign up for text message alerts when your package is delivered. Mm-hmm. And like my old mailman, when he delivered my package, he would scan it at the door. So I get a message in the morning saying my package will be delivered sometime between 10 and 8 or something like that. And then when he delivered, he would always scan it right there at the door and sit it at the door. And a lot of times he would knock just to let me know, because he knew me. And I mean, we had talked. He's my everyday mailman. So he knew I was in there. So he would knock on the door.
Just to kind of give you a heads up,
right,
like,
that there's
the package is out here.
One day I was waiting on something and they scanned my package in, but they wasn't in my door. They didn't show up to my house for 2 hours. I was mad. I was cussing, fussing, and it was after 5 o'clock, so it wasn't nobody I could call. Mm-hmm. 2 hours. They scanned my package in and then showed up 2 hours later and dropped it off. I'm like, that's wrong. Y'all need to go to jail for that.
Jail? And speaking of the USPS, sometimes Amazon uses them to deliver the packages. Mm-hmm. And anytime that my package is expected to be delivered on a Sunday, I'll get an alert on Sunday saying, we attempted to deliver your package, but no one was home. Update your delivery instructions. They didn't try to do nothing. They just lying.
See,
and then always the next day, the package is there. I ain't gave them no updated instructions.
You need to call the post office. Whoever doing your shift ain't doing their job.
They lying. That's what they doing. And every time I get that alert saying, we're sorry, we tried, but you wasn't at home, and I could be sitting right in the living room playing a video game, and nothing. Lies.
Yeah, FedEx did that to me once, and I called and went off on them. I'm like, I've been right here all day long. What you mean you deliver my package? You ain't delivering nothing. You want to see the video? I got proof.
Yeah, and that's the worst, when they say we actually delivered it and ain't nothing there. You get your hopes up high, especially if it's something, you know how I like to buy electronics. If it's something like expensive electronics and I've been waiting on it.
Yes.
And then they screw me over. And the next day.
So basically, we both got the same issue.
Yeah, we got
delivery
problems.
services,
and we ain't the problem.
Well, AT&T. I hate AT&T.
Why do you have to deal with them? You don't have an AT&T phone. You don't have.
Yes, I do. I have a landline.
You the problem.
I have to have a landline for work, and it has to be a landline. And the only company here that does landlines is AT&T.
You cannot blame them for that.
I have to have it for work. No, I don't blame them. I blame work. But my aunt, she has DirecTV. and I watch her direct TV.
Okay.
AT&T made a decision to take over the billing for direct TV. I don't know if direct TV is getting ready to completely close and become AT&T or what. But
yeah, they're like the one and the same at this point.
Right. They're transitioning their billing and all of that. Well, they decided to transition everything and lock people out of their accounts for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Without telling a soul. So you just go in, you go to turn on something, and you're locked out. It tells you to create a new password. You create a new password, and it keeps telling you, you can't use that password. You can't use that password. We sent you an email. You go through your email. It's nothing in the email. I mean, finally, I called them today. I've been a week without CNN. I called them today, and I was like, what's going on? And the lady's like, oh, yeah, we're not finished. It's going to take 2 weeks. I've been locked out for a week, and she said it's going to take 2 weeks. So I don't know if it's 2 weeks total or 2 more weeks. But I'm like, okay, so that means you're putting a credit on my account, right?
They would have to.
Oh,
because people would know that they haven't been able to use their internet for 2 to 3 weeks.
She says...
or their cable, rather.
She says, well, no, you can use you can't use any of the mobile apps.
Okay.
You can use the
but you
actual
would
cable.
notice that you can't use the mobile app.
Right.
Yeah.
You notice you can't use it. I said, so you need to notate that account right now that I want a credit that I cannot utilize my services.
Right.
And she says, okay, when they finish, they'll put a credit on your account.
Did you get her information?
No, I didn't. I know. Stupid move.
That don't sound like you.
It don't.
Especially Mrs. Customer Service. Mrs. Customer Service herself.
I'm telling you, I've been in a mood today. Just like, bleh. So, but no, I didn't get her information, but I told her to make sure she notated the account. She said she notated the account, and it don't matter because I've recorded the phone call.
All right on.
So, I got off the phone, looked at my auntie and said, okay, you should see a credit on your next bill. She's like, oh, well, thank you. I don't know why, but thank you.
Because she's hers is working fine.
Yeah, she couldn't use
a
mobile
app
if her life depended on it. I'm trying to get her to do DirecTV now. And
I just got rid of mine.
Well,
you know, because we both went to Philo.
Well, she's doing DirecTV, and it's still twice the price as DirecTV now.
Okay.
And so she she says to me, oh, I don't know. Because I said, why? She said her boyfriend likes to turn the channels. He likes to channel surf. Okay. I'm like, okay, Ed, can he do that?
Yes.
Yeah, it's TV. What the hell?
Oh, she's so sweet.
No, she's not. She's special.
That was a nice way of saying special.
No need to make that nice. I'm just like, okay. Well, moving on. Anywho, you got a bay for me?
I do. I actually had 2 for today, but I think I'm going to go with the bay that you sent today from a local, Black Achievements and Excellence recipient. His name is Trenton Lee. He's 15 years old. He's of like I said, of Kansas City. He's made more than 200 wigs for some pretty big names like Masika Kalisha. They named some other people that I didn't recognize the names. So I didn't know who they were. But anyway, he was invited to BeautyCon in New York City where he was met by Cardi B. Mm-hmm. And so that was a big thing for him. Cardi B approached him and she wanted him to make her a wig. And he started making wigs several years ago as an escape to bullying, which I thought that was interesting.
That's kind of cool.
Because I feel like, especially, with him being a young man and then for people to find out that he's interested in anything like that, I could see the bullying starting.
Right.
But, this was his escape and he's been successful in it. They said he's made so many wigs and so many connections that he spends less time in Kansas City than he does, traveling. So, shout out to this young man.
Cool.
And I think at the end of the video, they were saying how he was another artist reached out to him to make a wig, but he was like, it's a big artist. I can't say anything right now because he ain't trying to jeopardize his bag.
Right. And I don't blame him.
But shout out to local people
who are doing
something, making boss moves.
And not only that, for the reasons, he's doing it because of bullying to make somebody else feel better and not be bullied.
Right.
Hopefully not be bullied.
He was also, on the Steve Harvey show, and he says he wants to help people with their self-esteem issues.
Yeah,
and when you hear him talk,
cool.
he sounded like one of the people that like he understands what bullying is at this point because he's had to deal with it for so many years.
Right.
And he's trying to be more of an inspiration and motivator. And just like Cardi B was telling him, like, don't worry about what the haters are saying. You keep doing you because the haters are going to talk.
Right.
Somebody's gonna always have something to say negative about what you're doing
Right.
because they're jealous that they can't do it. They can't get to where you are, and that's life. People are gonna be jealous and envious of anybody doing anything better than they are. So shout out to 15-year-old Trenton Lee of Kansas City.
Woohoo! All right. Okay, so a lot went on in 2 weeks.
I feel like it's been longer than 2 weeks, but has it been 2 weeks? I don't think we took a break.
It's only been 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's been a lot going on.
It's just, Pete Buttigieg. Did we talk about him on the last show?
I don't think we were able to pronounce, or you were able to pronounce his
No,
name.
I can pronounce his name. You couldn't. It's Buttigieg.
Okay.
But he's like, first of all, he's a veteran.
Okay.
He is a military man. Or, I guess that's a veteran, huh? You didn't even call me out on that.
I wasn't going to do it.
He is a mayor. He speaks multiple languages. He learned Norwegian just so he could read a book.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
And he is a gay person.
Okay. And also a candidate. He threw his hat in the ring for president.
Well, has he
for a Democrat?
Did he do it today?
I don't know about today, but I
no,
thought
would it be today or tomorrow? It's sometime this week. He hasn't made it official yet.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the only reason I know his name because it's come up in the talks of presidential candidates.
We think he's
Democratic.
going to run for president.
Okay.
But I mean, he's like this. Really, he's pretty cool, and he's young. He's 37, 38.
He's younger than me.
I believe he is younger than you. He's very young.
We done found somebody younger than me.
While he was mayor, he met and married his husband.
Okay.
So this guy is kind of interesting, and I think he met his husband on a dating site.
Okay.
Interesting, but this is just an interesting.
Weren't
guy.
we just talking about dating sites?
Yes, we were.
Like, why were we talking about dating sites?
My grandparents looking. Well, no, it wasn't grandparents looking for love. I don't remember.
Okay. I just know we were just talking about
I don't
dating
remember.
sites.
It was before the show, so
and
I don't
told
remember.
me that I knew about dating sites, as if I'm on dating sites trying to get my groove on.
Hey, you know how you be doing.
No, I'm old. I don't be doing.
Anywho, so anyway, he's a Christian. He's very strong in his faith. He talks about his faith a lot. And he believes in right and wrong. And most importantly, he believes in moral value. And he believes that every one of his Christian teachings has taught him to do for others, to take care of the sick, take care of the poor, to help others. And, well, he and Pence.
Yeah, he's been really going at
odds lately.
Mike Pence's neck.
Not because Pence is not doing those things, but because Pence is standing by and not saying anything.
Yeah.
While someone else,
45 to be exact,
is acting like a fool.
Right. And that's been my whole issue with what they were calling evangelicals. Like, you guys are acting as if 45 is the second coming. And you hear like every policy that, he tries to put out there, every policy he tries to stop that's been put in place is hurting not only people, but hurting the country, hurting everybody. And y'all say nothing. So it doesn't make any sense.
I don't know, but he's been calling Pence. He has focused on, everybody else is focused on calling Trump out. But he has focused on calling Pence out, which I think is cool.
Yes, because the reason that Pence was put into place was because of his Christian faith and his beliefs and how he was like the good old boy. He
was supposed to kind of scale
mellow,
down,
yes, and
even him out.
Nope, he hasn't done anything.
He ain't done nothing. He
just like with
all he's done. I ain't been in it. I didn't do it. I wasn't there.
And it reminds me of Melania, who's supposed to have this anti-bullying campaign. Remember? Be Best? When was the last time you heard anything about that?
That's not correct English, but go ahead.
No, that was the campaign. But when have you heard anything about it? Yeah, crickets.
You can't hear anything about it because you can't be at your best when your sidekick, your ace, your number one is acting a fool.
Yeah,
he's at his worst. he's best at his worst.
He's the problem.
He is the biggest problem. So that has happened, and then it comes out that 45 has decided that he wanted to take the immigrants that were trying to get into the country,
seeking asylum,
and put them on a bus and send them to sanctuary cities. Now, the mayors of these sanctuary cities have basically said,
"Do it,
bring them on."
Yeah,
they are welcome.
That's the reason that we're sanctuary cities. Like we're not the problem. You and your people
right.
are the problem.
But something about that don't sound right. It sounds kind of illegal, because if they're not legal, if I were to say to somebody who wanted to get in the country, they sneak into the country, you can come stay with me, I would be in jail, right?
But I don't know. I don't think these are the people that were sneaking into the country. These are people coming into ports of entry seeking asylum.
Oh.
And so this is what sanctuary cities are for. But 45 and the Border Patrol, and your girl ended up retiring, resigning.
I don't want to have no parts of her.
Wasn't it Kristen, whatever the hell?
Kirsten Nielsen.
Her ass. And I feel like with her retiring, and then somebody worse is going to be in that position, and we know it because he only hires
idiots.
The worst. The worst. It's like the opposite of what the position would require every time. It makes absolutely no sense. And Republicans, I hate to just group you guys all, but that's what we're dealing with in the Senate. They're the ones who are confirming any piece of trash he puts out there because the Democrats can't stop it.
Then there's Julian Assange.
Mm-hmm.
So he been holed up in I think it's Ecuador's.
I think it was Ecuador.
What's it called? Their
embassy
for 7 years. Ain't left a place.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's like jail. So he should just probably went on to jail. But anyway, at least he had 7 years. Yeah,
I'm sure it felt like jail.
Yeah. So, but that's where he's been for the last 7 years. So Ecuador kicks him out. They arrest him, and I guess they bringing him to justice in whatever country. Why Trump gonna say he don't know WikiLeaks? He don't know nothing about WikiLeaks. He's never heard of WikiLeaks. Was it not Trump on the campaign trail that said, WikiLeaks, I love WikiLeaks?
Nothing that he says is surprising because he's a revisionist. He's the one person that will come out the very next day and say that he didn't say.
The same day.
It may be the same day later on. Say that he didn't say something that you have video evidence of him saying, and people buy it.
His supporters,
they buy it.
Automatically
they go wherever.
That's fake, and it's like, but just when he did it, you was in the crowd cheering. And
it reminds me of it. Was the book named George? I'm sorry, 1984. Is that by George Orwell? I'm gonna look it up as we're talking. But it's a book about where like stuff would happen, and then when the government decided that we're going to change things, they will not only just change things right now, they will go back into the textbooks and everything and change that as well, as if the previous thing had never happened.
So basically, no, he ain't that good because he's not going back and changing the footage.
But I'm saying it's still the same concept, but the people aren't going back and changing, history. But he's trying to change the future, and his people will allow their mindset to change history.
Wow. Okay, it was 1984, George Orwell, but I don't.
It's sad, but it's what we're living right now.
It's beyond sad. I said this before, and I'll say this again. I just really truly believe this is white supremacists' last stand. They're doing everything they possibly can to keep what they colonized, the way that it was. But unfortunately, segregation and living together amongst one another and getting to know different cultures and different things and traveling abroad and being able to talk to someone from another state, another country, another place instantaneously. That has changed the game. And these young people you're not going to be able to find a young person who has never come in contact with a person of color. You're not going to be able to find a young person who's never come in contact with someone from a different nationality, a different religion, a different sexuality.
Yeah.
And so because they see people for who they really are, as young people, they grow up with a different knowledge and a different headset. They don't just automatically assume that black people are bad because they're black, and gay people are only going to try to turn us gay because they know better. They've been around them their entire lives. And these young people are actually coming into power, which means they are basically getting ready to turn 18 and coming into the power of the vote.
Right,
and,
which is why more states are trying to stop and restrict more voting.
Well, but that's the thing. These young people are different from my generation and even your generation, because our generation, what did we have to worry about in school? Our drills were tornado drills, fire drills, earthquake
shooting
drills,
was never
like
even a thought.
Active shooter drill is nothing that was ever there for us. And these kids have come up their entire lives with these active shooter drills, and they're asking the questions, well, why are we having these drills? It's like a tornado. No matter what we do, we can't negotiate with a tornado to stop. Whereas,
and even just thinking about the drills that we were doing, I don't think that would have stopped the tornado.
It wouldn't have stopped it. It was coming. We was just going to try to survive it.
I don't even think that would have happened. But
it depends on where you were.
Sitting in the middle of the hallway
with your head.
No, I don't think they would have done it.
Depending on your school, right? But so it's different. And these kids are coming up, and they hit a certain age. In social studies, they start talking about government, and they start wondering, well, why are we not doing anything about this? Why am I sitting here having this drill and worried about somebody coming into the school and shooting when this can be stopped on this end? So they're learning and understanding government that way. When they come out at 18, they're going to the polls. Whereas when we came out at 18, now I know my school, it was empowerment, but then I went to a college preparatory school. So that's a little different. But my little sister's school.
In most schools, especially in like public schools, didn't talk about anything like that.
My little sister's school, they didn't discuss it at all. And she was like, we to this day have to tell my little sister, you need to go vote. Because her ideology and everything she's understood about voting is just not the same from what I came up with and what I was raised with. So it's just very interesting. And so what's getting ready to happen, these kids are going to come out of school and they're getting ready to put people in office. And you see what happened to the House. Look how diverse it is. It's not necessarily that it went from Republican to Democrat, but it's diverse. It went all the women of color. You've got Muslims in office. You've got gay people, LGBTQs in office. You have white people still, of course, white men are still there, but women. So there's this changeover, and it's happening, and there's nothing.
And I pray to
can
God
do
that it does not stop.
I don't think it will.
When you mentioned like learning about stuff like this in school, I remember the only time we talked about like a presidential election or just an election, I was in elementary, and I remember we all voted for the president, and this is when Michael Dukakis was running for president. And in my school, he won, but he didn't win outside the school. And that was the last time from elementary to high school that we talked about a presidential election.
See, we were in the politics in my school just because, well, I guess we were nerds. And then not only that, I had one teacher, Mr. Hutton. I'll never forget him. He passed, but he believed he came up during the civil rights movement. He was involved in a lot of the boycotting and the protesting and all of that. And so he taught us about it.
Yeah.
He was strong in his beliefs and taught us about it.
He knew the importance of it.
And so when they told us they was going to take our Martin Luther King Assembly and turn it into all the colors of the rainbow assembly or some BS, we was hot. We had a protest. We did a sit-in and we all went into the halls. We said, when the assembly started, Reverend Emmanuel Cleaver, who is now the congressman, he wasn't even mayor at that time. He was still just Reverend Emmanuel Cleaver. He came in and he spoke, and he got up to the podium to speak, and we stood up and walked out, and we went and sat in the hallway, and he was like, "What just happened?" I remember Mr. Hutton came out. We sat in that hallway because the assembly was like in the morning, and we did not go to class all day. We just sat there in that hallway. Now, for us, we was having a good time.
Yeah, because I ain't got to go to class.
But Mr. Hutton came out. Most teachers marked you absent. But I believe Miss Skillman, who she's still alive, she was my favorite English teacher, probably my favorite teacher of all time. She came out and took attendance, but so did Mr. Hutton. He went through that hall. He's like, here, everybody. He marked everybody here. Right, and he said, "For you, get an A for the day," and
because they understood the importance of the movement,
right? And Reverend Cleaver went out. He gave his speech, and then he came out in the hall, and I guess he went and talked to the administration to find out what was going on, and then he came out in the hall and he gave the speech again to us. And he said he was how proud he was that we were taking a stand. So those were the things we did, but we talked about. I mean, it was important for us to understand government, which it kills me that we don't do that in inner city schools because it's such a major part.
But I feel like that's strategic that we don't do that.
It
because
probably is.
Can you imagine, like, just looking at the whole Nipsey Hussle situation and how rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle, and just the fact that what he was trying to do in his community. And I feel like for most people, they didn't know what was going on until after his death. And then you see all the people talking about the things that he was doing. To have that type of empowerment, for somebody you don't know anything about. But can you imagine if this was in every community?
Right.
And when we come together, and when you get gangbangers who, realize that, it ain't about colors anymore. Right. This is about Black people coming together and speaking up and standing up for our community, especially when one of ours has been gunned down and taken from us, who was trying to help rebuild what we got going on. Like that's what they don't want.
Well, and it's funny, I was out
and I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no, but it was perfect. I was out today doing my shopping, and I'm looking, all the decorations. You know me, I'm decorating. I'm getting ready to start Cinco de Mayo. But I was out, and they started putting out the 4th of July decorations. And it's so funny.
I'm not even going to judge you anymore.
Don't.
Thank you.
And all the decorations say, "United we stand." And it's like those 3 words have been in front of us our entire lives.
Yeah.
And we still have not understood them. United we stand. We have got to. For those who don't know about Nipsey Hussle was a rapper and philanthropist, and just what I have learned just even over the past few weeks. A truly amazing person. This was a person who came from the streets, raised by the streets, lived in the streets, abided by the rules of the streets at one time, and at some point realized what he was doing wasn't the right thing to do.
It would only lead to death and destruction.
And it was time to make a change. And he adjusted his sails. Yep. And when he adjusted his, he tried to adjust those who were surrounding him, with him, in his neighborhood, believed in him. He took everybody with him. And there's this, they put this kind of wheel up on Twitter about how many different communities and organizations he touched. And I'll try to make sure I post it on Facebook, because it was just amazing to me that this young man, this young brother, did this when he came from
the streets.
Poverty.
Yeah.
Gangs.
Yeah.
Probably a single person household. And no excuses. The moment he was able to stand up, he stood everybody up with him.
Yeah, he reached back to bring people.
Stand.
Yeah, yeah.
We got to do this together. If we do not start coming together and stop tearing down each other, I don't know how we got here, but because of these
systemic racism. That's how we got here. And
no. I mean, I know how we got here, but how we got to this conversation.
Okay.
But since we're on it, if we do not find a way to start helping one another, not tearing each other down. Yes, everybody makes mistakes. Like Wendy Williams, she's going through some stuff. I feel sorry for her. Everybody else does not feel sorry for her.
I think there may be some people that feel sorry for her because they're glad that she's finally stepping up and doing something for her situation.
What I think we should say is, Wendy, you need to stop talking about other people. Stay out of other people's business. Handle your own. But let's not write you off. We got to bring you into the fold.
We're not going to cancel it.
No, we don't. Stop all the canceling. It is no more canceling. It is educating. It is re-education, not canceling. We don't cancel nobody. It's time to re-educate and start coming together because we cannot do this alone. We have been trying to do this alone since the end of slavery. Or since slavery, because had we been together then, we'd have probably been out.
A long time ago.
We have got to stop. And we've got to stop finding all these excuses or allowing all these excuses. I don't vote because my vote don't count, because of electoral college, because it ain't no place in my district, because get on a bus, call a friend, walk, do whatever you got to do. What does it hurt you to vote? It hurts nothing for you to vote. Even if you don't think your vote counts, it doesn't hurt for you to go vote. And we really, 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 really need you to vote. Because otherwise, we're going to have that fool in office for 4 more years. And I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I can't survive him for 4 more years. I can't listen to him speak for 4 more years. I need somebody with at least a 4th grade education to talk.
I would love for the somebody else to win the presidency, and then the media take a blackout of him, because I feel like that's what America needs that's what the world needs right now, to quit mentioning his name. Quit talking about him. I don't give a damn what he does, what he's up to. When we got a new president that's trying to actually correct the course of where we're going right now, then let's focus on that. Yeah, no interviews, no quotes, no Twitter. I feel like at that point Twitter needs to ban him. Let's move on collectively.
And ban him for bullying,
because he's definitely been a bully, and they just been sweeping it under the rug.
So now we're gonna switch gears.
Okay.
Switch gears. Anywho, so Robert Kraft is fighting to keep his personal areas from being shown.
The owner of the Patriots.
The owner of the Patriots. Mm-hmm. Yes, he's trying to keep his personal areas from being shown to the media. Now, for so many reasons, I don't understand this. I remember
what
I don't understand is, I remember there used to be a time where you would leave things to the imagination, and the news media would never want pictures of your wee-wee. But
I don't think it's not even like acceptable to post like nude pictures anyway. So
what is going on? I personally, I implore any member of the media, whether it's news, gossip, whatever, please don't worry about getting his little footage, because I don't want to see no parts of it.
His little footage. I see what you did there.
Anyway, I did. You went there. But no matter what size it is, I don't want to see any parts of it. And I would think that most women in this country don't want to see any parts of it, and I would assume that most men don't want to see any parts of it either.
Nobody wants to see it because it has absolutely nothing to do with the situation or the case.
It has nothing.
So
to
why
do
are
with
we?
nothing.
I don't even understand why this came up.
This is what has happened this week. So now he's going to court to try to get the judge to keep this out of the public view. And I hope the judge does say, I agree, nobody needs to see this, and any media outlet that is asking for it they need to be canceled. Because that's just nasty.
I can't even imagine a news media outlet a reputable, I'll say that, news media outlet asking.
That's just nasty.
For this video.
This is not
because they're going to have to censor what they see anyway. So what's the point? Just for it's personal at that point.
It is very. In Chicago, and so this also makes me think twice about Jussie, but in Chicago, the police department was called into a high school. Mm-hmm. Now, the claim is that the police claim they were called into the high school because a girl was fighting with a teacher. And when they went to get the girl and try to remove her from the school, she got violent, I guess, and started
and physical with them. Okay.
Yeah, and swinging, and she fell down the stairs, and they arrested her. And so then the video comes out.
Is it like body cam footage or what video?
No, I think it was somebody else's, because this was not the body. I was seeing the police's bodies.
Okay.
So this was somebody else's video. And they're clearly dragging the little girl down the stairs. And so as soon as the video footage came out, the police department dropped the charges. And this is why we cannot believe anything the Chicago PD says.
Yeah. And people they feel some type of way. I feel like on this show, Is This a Quickie with me and JT, I continue to say that I'm still holding on to hope that Jussie, didn't do it, because there's a possibility that he didn't. And then the fact that we know that we have all this evidence against the Chicago Police Department,
right,
that their reputation, they're not
corrupt.
squeaky clean. There's corruption there. So I don't know why all of a sudden everybody's jumping on board with we believe them. That makes no sense to me.
Right. I don't understand. I don't believe them. I'm just so confused with the whole story. Look, I know we missing some things. We are missing like a huge part of this story. So, and then there is, you've been hearing about the church fires in Louisiana, right?
I have heard about the church fires. 3 churches in like 5 days or something like that.
And all black churches.
All black Baptist churches.
Well, they found the person. They arrested the person. You know who he was? The sheriff's son.
The sheriff's son. And this is, he hasn't been convicted. This is all allegedly at this point. But he is the person that's been arrested.
The sheriff's son. They claim they have him on tape now.
And his name was what? Matthew?
I don't know. I don't care.
You told me to remember. Yeah. His name is Holden Matthews.
Yeah, I don't care what his name is. He burned a bunch of churches. Mm-hmm. But, the first thought makes you say, okay, the parents have got to be around to help with this mentality. You've been raised like this. Parents probably don't like black people, But then you hear that the sheriff just broke down in tears. He was so hurt. At least that's what they say happened when the sheriff found out about it, and then the sheriff helped arrest him and all that. I don't know. I just know
there's a possibility that the father didn't know anything about it.
I feel for him as a parent, because this man's about to not only watch his son go through a trial and possibly get in prison, but he also has to live with the knowledge of the fact that his child would do something like this to people. Mm-hmm. So that's gotta hurt. So I feel for him no matter what. I hope that the stories we're hearing are true when it comes to that, because I would hate to find out that, they was just lying for him and the sheriff was just as dirty as his son and just ain't been caught.
Lying for the sheriff.
Right.
About how sympathetic and empathetic you.
Right.
Okay.
And that leads me to say, all these people who if you committed a crime 40 some odd years ago, you should be shaking in your boots, because now with DNA evidence, they catching folks left and right. They caught another one. 46-year-old. The guy is 80 years old now. The murders happened 46 years ago. He killed 2 women when they was 19.
Mm-hmm. He need to go to jail.
Hey, like I said, you need to be shaken.
2 people.
Raped and killed them. People who committed crimes, they need to be shaking in their boots right now.
Well, we'd likely get maybe 5 good years in prison for this guy.
I don't want to pay for his room and board though. But I don't think you need to be on the street. I mean, but can you imagine if you were this was like your granddad, and you all your life you've been raised by this man, and he's been around and you've been playing with him, and you find out 46 years ago he was a rapist and a killer.
That would be crazy. But I immediately, I'll cancel granddad. I feel like I had permission at that point to, no more family visits.
So I was watching the news and I heard this story that I have got to share. So this man and his son, they went out for dinner or something. They went. I mean, and I'm making that up. They went out. I don't know what they did out,
Okay.
but they went out, and they got back home and they heard somebody in the bathroom. They're looking around. They know it ain't nobody supposed to be in this house but the two of them. And they kept saying, is anybody in there? And they wouldn't answer, but they kept hearing somebody in the bathroom. So they called the police. And the father calls the police and he's like, somebody is in the bathroom. And I think you heard the story. So it's like somebody is in the bathroom.
Yes.
And they won't respond, and they're supposed to be here. So the cops show up, guns in hand and everything. And they like, hey, come out of there, come out of there. And all they hear is this banging around in the bathroom. Nobody's coming out. And so they draw their weapons, and they come out, and we coming in, and they kick open the door, and it's the Roomba running around the bathroom.
I didn't know. I heard the headline, but I didn't know the backstory, the story at all. But I kind of figured that's where you were going.
It's the Roomba bumping around.
I used to want one of those because I don't like vacuuming, but I wouldn't want to deal with that. But why wouldn't they know that they have this device?
In the bathroom.
Well, maybe not even in the bathroom, but this is a possibility. It could be in the bathroom because we own a Roomba.
I would never have thought about that. I'd have just been
but
scared.
If you own a Roomba, and
I guarantee you, I'd have been scared, and at my neighbor's house, it wouldn't have mattered.
You would have pulled out your pistol?
No, I'd have left.
Okay.
Look, my pistol is there in case it's the middle of the night and somebody break in and I can't get out. It's not there for me to walk in trying to be Charlie's Angels. No.
Oh, okay. But that's your house.
I'm out.
You want to shoot first, ask question later?
No. I'm out. I'm out.
Right.
I'm going across the street and getting the cop. I'm out. But yeah, so I heard this story because Strahan and Sarah, Michael Strahan told it. And so he ended it with
who is Sarah?
Sarah, she used to be on The View.
Okay.
What?
I mean, I don't know.
She's just Sarah.
Okay.
Sarah, I can't even remember her last name now. Yeah, I'll figure it out. But anyway, she used to be on The View, but she's his sidekick now. But anyway, he told it, and he said the Roomba was still arrested because it was black.
Oh, my goodness. Is this the like the replacement of the Regis and Kelly Ripa show, or like what is this show?
No, that's Kelly. Well, it was Kelly and Michael at one
Yeah,
time,
that's-
and
that's-
Michael went to ABC. But no, now it's Kelly and Ryan. Ryan Seacrest does it.
Okay.
But no, this is a replacement for the Chew. ABC is just trying to. They removed all the soaps and they still trying to figure out how to fill them.
Oh, okay.
And they
So they
still
added
ain't
another
figured it
little
out
talk
how to
show.
fill them. Yeah, so they added another talk show. What they filled one of them. Oh, they moved General Hospital up into one of the slots, and then they have yet to be able to fill that last slot. So,
Okay.
it's just trying to figure. It's television stations trying to figure out what to do.
Right on.
But anyway, so I just thought that was a funny story, and I thought we all need a little laughter in our life.
Right on.
So, anywho, that's all I got. You got anything else?
No, ma'am.
All right. Well, on that note, guys, in 2 weeks, it's Mikey's birthday.
They don't call me Mikey.
I do. And so we have to figure out how to celebrate. So some people send me ideas.
No.
Because I told him I was going to come and put streamers all over his house, and he's telling me no.
No, I said I would definitely hire security, and you would not get in.
He don't want to do nothing for his birthday.
I'm a chill.
So
And the
send me
no cake.
ideas.
No.
I won't make you a cake.
Now, you can, if you want to show up with some crab legs, then you could definitely do that.
I can bring crab legs. Do they
Yeah.
have to be cooked? I ain't never cooked no crab legs.
I know how to cook crab legs.
So I just bring a
I
bag of
cooked crab legs last weekend.
I might do that.
Okay.
I might. We see.
Now
what
you really have a friend.
Then I really have a friend. Well, send me some ideas, people, because we're gonna do something for Mikey's
Really?
birthday. Yep.
This ain't my first birthday.
No, but it's Mikey's birthday.
Quit saying Mikey like that. That's not me.
Who is it?
Somebody else.
What's your name?
Mike B.
And
Mike B.
What is cutie for Mikey?
Fat.
At least that's what your grandma said,
Yeah,
right?
she said it is. I was over there Wednesday. She was like, "Oh, you're so cute." You're still fat. Okay.
Oh, so you're no longer cute. Cute and fat. You cute and still fat.
Still fat. Yeah, she's upgraded.
Grandmothers are the best, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Anywho, on that note, peace.
Adios.